In this video, we're going to break down why growing businesses often outgrow their systems and what actually needs to be fixed first to restore clarity and make growth sustainable. Most businesses don't run into problems because their strategy is wrong. In fact, many of them are growing. Revenue is increasing. The team is expanding. There is more activity than ever before. And yet, something starts to feel heavier. Not visibly broken, but no longer working the way it used to. In this stage, leaders don't say our systems are failing. They describe it differently. Decisions take longer. The same work gets repeated. Teams rely more on conversations than structure. That's when growth quietly turns into operational pressure. And gradually, more of the business depends on a few people holding everything together. What's happening here is not a lack of effort. It's a shift in scale. The business has become more complex, but the way it operates has not evolved at the same pace. And this is a very consistent pattern. As organizations grow, they naturally lose clarity, unless structure is intentionally built back in. Research supports this. McKinsey estimates that companies can lose up to 20 to 30% of their productive capacity as operational complexity increases, not because people are underperforming, but because systems are no longer supporting how the business actually works. At this point, many businesses try to fix it by adding more people, more tools, more activity. But the issue is not capacity, it's clarity. Without structure, effort becomes compensation, and compensation is not scalable. In most cases, restoring performance doesn't require a full reset. It starts with three things: clarity, what actually matters now; priorities, what the business is focusing on; visibility, how work and performance are tracked. These ideas sound simple, but in practice, most businesses don't struggle because they don't know what to do. They struggle because they don't see clearly where things are actually breaking. And without that clarity, any improvement becomes guesswork. This is where structured diagnostics become critical. Not surface-level reviews, not opinions, but a clear, objective understanding of how the business operates today. Where workflows break down, where ownership is unclear, where visibility is missing. Because until you see the system clearly, you can't improve it intentionally. A strong diagnostic should answer a few key questions. What is actually driving performance in the business today? Where are the hidden constraints that limit growth? And which parts of the system are no longer aligned with the current scale? It should not just describe the business. It should show where value is created and where it is lost. Because until you see the system clearly, you can't improve it intentionally. This is exactly where structured systems like the Value Builder approach become valuable. Instead of looking at isolated problems, it evaluates the business across the key drivers that influence value, scalability, and resilience, from financial performance and growth potential to structure, customer dynamics, and operational control. Not as theory, but as a way to translate strategy into measurable and provable components. When this level of clarity is introduced, something shifts. Decisions become grounded, priorities become sharper, and improvement stops being reactive. It becomes structured, because now you're not just growing the business, you're building it with intention. Growth always creates complexity, but businesses don't struggle because of growth itself. They struggle when their systems are no longer visible, no longer aligned, and no longer designed for the scale they've reached. And that's where clarity becomes the real advantage. If you're in that stage of growth where things feel heavier, the first step is not to add more. It's to understand clearly where you are